He's 41, but tells women he's 39. Is that a harmless white lie or a red flag? If you've ever told a little lie on a dating app or wondered if someone was lying to you, this episode is for you. I'm Kelly, and today on 52, I'm joined by Rodney Rabbani, licensed marriage and family therapist and expert dating coach, to unpack one of the most common and controversial questions in modern dating. When is it okay to tweak the truth, and when does it cross the line? From trust and timing to confidence and connection, we're diving in. So let's get into it. F boys, breadcrumbing, ghosting. Oof. Sound familiar? Well, whether you're single or not, we're all aware that dating has become unnecessarily complicated. But honestly, does it really need to be? I think we should change it up. So on that note, welcome back to 52. I'm Kelly, a tech attorney here in New York.
I'm Rodney. I'm a marriage and family therapist and life coach here in Los Angeles.
And today we're going to tackle a question submitted by one of our listeners who's single and trying to navigate the often confusing dating world. In answering the question, we're going to provide some tips to help you successfully date and meet your special someone. And who better to help us out than Rodney, a renowned dating coach who has helped many singles navigate the ups and downs of the dating scene and find their special someone. For our listeners that are single, grab your coffee or tea and get ready to learn how to date with intention. It's a vibe. And for our listeners that are in a relationship or even married, we hope this helps you to further appreciate your special someone and maintain your relationship. So let's get started. Rodney, are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely.
All right. Here's the question we got from a 41-year-old single in Los Angeles who's trying to make sense out of things. He's a 41-year-old guy, but on his dating profile, he says that he's 39 years old. He doesn't want to lie, but he also knows that many girls will set the maximum age that they prefer to 40 years old, which cuts him off. Even off the dating apps, he explains that girls are okay with dating 39-year-olds, but are initially turned off when he says he's 41 years old. He wants to know if it's okay that he's not honest about his age at the outset on the dating apps. And because he hasn't been honest, when should he tell a girl that he's dating that is actually not 39 years old, but is 41 years old?
I get what he's saying, and my answer might be surprising. You guess how old I am? Do you know how old I am?
You're 37?
I'm 39, right? And like I'm almost 40, right? I don't feel like I'm 40. I don't think I look 40, but there are many women and men that will, on the dating apps, have a cutoff age, right? And I've heard this from men and women that they have put cutoff ages and regretted it later because they realize there is that one, two, or three outlier guy or girl that doesn't look like their age, doesn't act like their age. I'm married with kids, but if I was on a dating app and I put 40, next year, there are a lot of opportunities I wouldn't receive because many girls will cut off at 40, but in person, I think they would probably view things differently. I don't think you should lie. You should be honest. Be honest, right? And you try that. You try that. Try that for a bit. Try that for months. And if you feel like you're not getting the opportunities and the swipes and you're not in front of enough people's faces on the dating apps, then maybe you could mess with the age a little and see how that goes. And I would be very honest very early on. If you do get a match, once you go on the date, you say, hey, I want to be honest with you. Because if you get matched, they're seeing your picture, they're okay with how you look. On the date, you could express, hey, I'm actually a year or two older. I wouldn't fluctuate it more than 2 years. Like if
I was
you're
just gonna ask you, like, if he was 45 years old and he was saying he was 39, that would be very different.
right,
Would lying in this case about your age be a red flag or a deal breaker, or is it just a harmless white lie that could be forgiven once he comes clean? Hopefully, if he does come clean right away. And where do you draw the line between like, harmless white lie and red flag?
It's a white lie, right? If it's a year or two, it's a white lie. Just know that there is that risk and consequence. That person is not going to be okay with it. And that's a risk you're going to have to take if you do that.
Right. So, how does age-related dishonesty impact trust in the relationship? Is it possible to build a relationship when trust has been shaken by dishonesty, even if it seems minor, like an
Yeah,
age?
I think this is a white lie. And if you explain it the way I just did, like, hey, I'm 42. I don't look 42. I don't feel 42. And I know on the dating apps, many women blindly have a cutoff at 39
Yeah.
or 40, and that,
I'll be honest, I have a cutoff at 39 or 40.
right. But there be a lot of 41, 42-year-olds that you would probably be like, shit, he looks younger than the 37-year-old, you know? And I know a lot of those cases too.
Of course, age really doesn't mean anything as long as you have compatible
I
values.
totally agree with that. And I would actually encourage many men and women to give a bigger range for that age because you
Right.
might be really shooting yourself in the foot by just a couple years, and I don't think it's fair. Age is just a number.
I agree completely. And if someone does lie about their age, whether it's on a dating app or in person, when is the right time to come clean about your actual age?
First date.
First date. And if someone lies about their age, does that automatically mean that they will lie in other areas of their life?
I don't think so.
Okay. Forget about him putting his age at 39 just to get more into the range that most girls have it set out for. How can he feel just more comfortable and confident with his age and the way that he presents himself when he meets someone in person?
It's out of his control on dating apps because there's that cutoff age. People making that decision before they even know who you are. In person, it's a different story. In person, it is what it is. You own it and be confident in it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And if they do lie about their age and then they come clean about it on the first date, like you said and advised,
Sure.
how should they recover from the lie moving forward to maintain that credibility and establish trust? The girl might be like, oh my gosh, she lied about this. Will he be lying about something else?
That's what I mean. There's a consequence of that, and there's nothing you could do if you decide to lie about the age. But if you come clean, I would come clean the way I explained it. Like, hey, I know there are many people who have a cutoff age, blah, 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 blah. I did it. I don't like that I did it, but I feel like I don't feel 42. I feel 39. I look 39. Then you hope the other person understands.
Right, right. So I just like to give an example. I was on a dating app and I matched with the guy who said he was 39 years old. My cutoff was 39. So he's 39. He looks really young. We started talking on the dating app. And before we scheduled a plan to like meet up and go on a date, he goes, oh, by the way, I'm actually not 39. I'm 45 years old.
That's too
So
much.
for me personally, that was way too much of a big lie. It wasn't.
That is too much.
So at that point, I was like, thank you. But, it wasn't even about the age gap. I didn't even get into that. It was that 6 years to lie about like a 6 year difference was a lot for me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. That is a lot.
So yeah. So sometimes I guess it really depends on the your actual age versus the age that you say that makes it either a white lie or a red flag or a deal breaker.
Right. I'm with you.
That's good to hear. Last question on this topic.
Hmm.
What's the best way to communicate your age, and other aspects of your life in a very authentic and confident way? Because sometimes there are certain things that you might feel insecure about, such as, for example, with this guy, he's insecure about his age. What's something that can make someone feel more confident in presenting themselves and what they find to be their weaknesses without making them feel like it's going to hurt their chances of connecting with someone? Like, because some people do feel really insecure about their age. Some guys, they're in their early 40s, like you said, maybe 40, 41, and they think the girl they talk to is just not going to be down.
There's someone for everyone. You just have to have hope. And that's with everything. With any insecurity, you have to have hope and work through that particular insecurity, maybe with therapy, with coaching, because it could become a block.
I get that. Wow, Rodney, a huge thank you to you for sharing your expertise and helping us break down this listener's dating dilemma. You've given us a lot of valuable tips, as always, to navigate the modern dating world with confidence and intention. Rodney, actually, before you wrap up, where can our listeners find more of your work and connect with you? I'm sure they'll want to keep following you for more dating advice.
They could find me on Instagram, which is probably the best place. My Instagram is Rodney Rabbani. I also have a Facebook group on Facebook. It's called Question of the Day. And DMing me through Instagram is probably the best way to contact me.
Awesome. Definitely check that out, everyone. And to our listeners, if you have your own dating questions or topics that you'd like us to cover in the future, click on the link in the captions and submit your question. We love hearing from you. So you could definitely submit your questions. Just go through the link provided and submit it anonymously. As always, thanks for tuning in to 52. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. Because we all know love is better when it's shared. Until next time, stay confident, intentional, and authentic. Happy dating. The content in this podcast is for entertainment and is not mental health, medical, or personal relationship counseling. It is not a substitute for professional expertise and judgment from a licensed healthcare or mental health professional. You should seek the advice of a qualified professional when seeking mental health or medical advice to obtain a diagnosis or any treatment regarding your mental health or well-being. The content in this podcast may not be applicable to you and your specific situation. Topics discussed in this podcast may include information that may be considered sensitive or emotionally charged to some people, and therefore listener discretion is advised. References to third-party resources are for informational purposes only, and 52 Inc. takes no responsibility for the content of those resources. This podcast is copyrighted 2025 by 52 Inc., all rights reserved.